What's up, Chapman? How are we doing? What's up, Jonathan? Mouse in the house, me amor. Montes screwed me and my good lines last night. Started getting shelled in third and get out of the man last night. Jordan Lyles. Oof. 7 innings strong against the Houston Astros. A strikeout per inning, just 3 hits allowed. 30 DraftKings points. Holy, that's tough. The big boys, Garrett Cole, Lucas Giolito. Pretty modest outings by those two. Cole got into trouble in the first inning, had like a 25 pitch first inning. Didn't have a bad real life game. Came back, got you 5 innings, 23 fantasy points. But you would have liked to get into the 6th or 7th at that price. And then Lucas Giolito went 4 innings. And we kind of talked about the possibility of White Sox pitching being kind of like the Milwaukee pitchers. Not going super deep. 4 innings for Giolito. 87 pitches. Got into some trouble. 3 earnings up. Don't get qualified for the win. So he was really not worth the 10K. And then on yesterday's slate, we saw elevated ownerships on Eric Fetty and Kyle Gibson. Fetty absolutely got there, which is the second time he's gotten there against that team. I was half the field on Fetty. So Fetty was a huge piece to have. 27 DK. Kyle Gibson started going backwards there towards the end. So I guess he came back down to earth. But other than that, like, it's really just a matter of, oh my gosh, Jordan Lyles. I would have never, ever, not even if there was a fire, played Jordan Lyles against the Astros. Baseball. Hey, check this out. KBO. This guy, shortstop over there, 5 at-bats, 3 hits, a homer, 3 ribeye steaks, 2 runs, and a stolen base. You suck, huh? What a name. Trying to hit that $3 single answer. Let's go. Pitching's a lot weirder tonight, you know? What up, dang lazy mofo? What up, Dave Jones? How you doing, Dave? You guys doing all right? You guys make it out last night? Last night was the Yankee stacks were easy out there, right? I don't know that they ended up being the true nuts, or at least you had to like substack them. I know I saw Yankees and Cubs at the top before I realized my pitching combination was not going to get me there. I had Wisdom. I had somehow Alfonso Rivas landed in my top lineup, and it wasn't on purpose. He just got optimized there. Yeah, I gotta sneeze. And it's not coming. Dodgers put up a lot of runs late. Trey Turner was one of the best plays on the slate. 30 fantasy points. Max Muncy got you 27. Giants put up some runs on Jake Arrieta, no surprise there. But no slate-breaking scores. I guess Desclafani did a lot better than the Warm and Fuzzies kind of put out. The Rays and Blue Jays combined for 2 runs, and the Blue Jays had 0. Frankie Montas was my 3rd pitcher, I guess, maybe 4th, and the Royals ended up being back. Looking at Salvi, he dropped 25. Merrifield, Nick Lopez, even Mondesi got in on the action. A couple double-digit guys there, but really it was just if you got the Yankees, they gave you like 5 or 6 solo homers, and that is the ultimate range of outcome for a full stack, right? It's for everyone to homer. DJ homered, Judge homered, Stanton homered, Voit homered, Gallo homered. I mean, that's incredible. So if you had those 5 in a stack, you were set up pretty well in any format. Was my highest owned stack. Didn't take down anything last night because my pitching didn't quite get there, and the sub guys. I had a lot of Alex Bregman, who I think he ended up getting like KP, but he was goose egg for the most part. But yeah, Jordan Lyle. Isn't that weird? Isn't that weird? Weird. Yeah, my old lady, man. Oof. She's on the IL. She's questionable. It's gonna be at least a 4-day IL. We'll revisit. We might have to backdate it. Come back for that, guys. On this channel this morning, we posted a video featuring former NBA co-host Mets Nets Jets D trying to collaborate with other content creators. Bigger than me, great, but smaller than me, it really doesn't matter how many subscribers you got. If you guys are or know of content creators that are actually content creators, don't like listen to this like, oh, you know what, Gun, I'll do that. No, if you're actually trying to grind a YouTube channel or whatever, shoot me your info, check you out, and we can make something happen. I'll make it happen. I literally am always inviting people to come on the live stream, and no one does it. So either I'm like secretly blacklisted, or people are intimidated, or what. But I've definitely tried to get some people to come on here and talk not only baseball but NFL, roundtable, basketball. It'll be a lot of Rods, but I would love to diversify basketball as well. What up, Rob? Whoever thought that Laos would shut down? Yeah, oof. What's up, Kickstart? Chat today, promo code Clemente gets you 21% off. 21% off of any VIP membership at rundfs.com. So if you guys have been on the edge about that, it'd be a good day to get that. Tomorrow we'll have some showdown coverage. We'll have baseball coverage every day except Sunday. NFL coverage this weekend, and showdown coverage Monday. We got projections for all that. I'll have my favorite groupings and tournament correlations for the main slate on Sunday, and then of course the daily baseball stuff. So if you guys want some of that, good way to support the stream, support the site, rundfs.com. Get yourself 21% off. Let's open up the rundfs.com MLB VIP spreadsheet. And do we have all the tabs open? I feel like I don't have I don't know. I feel like I'm missing some tabs here. Got the spreadsheet open. That's basically what I mean. I got Fangraphs open. Got a DraftKings contest open. That's all we need. I don't know. It feels like I'm short a tab. Anyway, looking at this slate, not a ton of household pitching names to be had. A couple of the more, I would say, the couple of the more fantasy sweetheart names are in not amazing matchups. So I think we won't likely see a ton of concentrated ownership right somewhere. I don't know if we get a traffic jam. Julio Urias, most expensive pitcher on the slate, facing the Arizona Diamondbacks. D-backs, kind of a scrappy team against lefties depending on the lineup they put out. Urias is somebody that you do wonder how truly deep he'll go game to game. The Dodgers have also clinched a playoff berth last night. Last couple outings for Urias, 7, 5.2, 6, 5, 5. pitch counts anywhere between 70 and 94. So there is some pushback there, but he's certainly got amongst the most upside on the slate. Jose Urquidy against the Rangers, I think that might garner some traction, but certainly a 10K. It's not a super warm and fuzzy spot. We have seen some struggles in his last 3 games, including against 2 less than stellar Orioles and Mariners teams. So we'll see how much traction he picks up, especially after the Rangers put up a bunch of runs last night. Sean Manaea, Chupapi Manaea, 9,800 for him. Certainly not a consistent click, but he does have at least some sort of upside against the Kansas City Royals. Royals are also one of those teams that are just kind of scrappy at times. I expect them to be kind of spoiling pitchers slate to slate, just because they have a nice combination now of power, speed, a little bit of hit for average in Merrifield. Joe Musgrove against the first place Giants is a tough spot. Tyler Megill gets a potentially righty heavy St. Louis Cardinals, so I could see some traction getting there. I do think he has some upside. Huascar Ynoa against the Rockies on the road didn't quite go great for Buki yesterday, but 8,900. Did you get 18 plus DKP out of him? It's definitely possible. Nestor Cortez getting the bump for the Yankees, gets the Baltimore Orioles. And then it gets a little weird. Ranger Suarez, converted closer, gets a solid matchup opening wise against the Cubs. He is getting 90 plus pitches lately, so he might be somebody I put in my back pocket. So we'll go game by game here and kind of see if we can't pluck some pitching names out of the hat here. But it definitely feels like we don't have some obvious pitchings, which will probably create for not obvious stacks and not super chalky pitchers. Hopefully, we'll see. Yesterday we saw guys get up into the 40% range. My best friend got his car stolen this morning, and he's freaking out in my DM. My phone's just going no. All cops. Sean V. Jordan Lyles, told you he's capable. Shut up. Unless you had some Jordan Lyles last night. Miss me with that ball, Sean. All right, let's get into the action here. Cubs at the Phillies. First game on the docket. Alec Mills taking on Ranger Suarez. We got a 3.8 run total for the Cubs. 5.3 run total for the Phillies. The first of 10 games on tonight's slate. We do not have confirmed lineups for either team yet. Alec Mills is a contact-prone pitcher. 16.9% overall K rate. Just a 7.5% swing and strike rate. Does allow a little bit of power to lefties, so this would be a huge spot for a guy like Bryce Harper to lay into one. Odubel Herrera hit I think a leadoff homer yesterday. He's 2,500 on FanDuel, perhaps a better value on FanDuel if he leads off again today versus his $4,600 price point on DraftKings. Harper, like I said, great spot for him. You got to go up there and get him at that price point. And then Didi Gregorius kind of projects well. We check out that pitch report for Alec Mills, kind of see what he's throwing at. He's got a fastball, slider, curveball, changeup, but 60% fastball. So, yeah, Harper can lay on that one. Didi Gregorius hits all of the secondary pitches well. Actually has a negative grade against the fastball, but I don't mind taking a chip in a chair on him and Brad Miller as some bottom of the order potential bombs. Really nice prices on FanDuel, just being $400, $500 above the mid price range. Phillies have an implied run total of 5.3, so they do have a little bit of girth to their stack potential. And if they get past Alec Mills, definitely a bullpen they can pick on. Ranger Suarez on the bump for the Phillies. I think he has plenty of strikeout potential to be in the pitching pool for me, at least. Like I said, converted closer, and now we're starting to see a ton of bullets in the chamber, right? 96 pitches against Colorado, 95 against Arizona, 99 against Tampa Bay. it is possible for him to get 20 plus pitches. And at 7,200, if you're looking for that 2.5x return on investment, I think it's a common range of outcome against a strikeout prone Chicago Cubs. 25% K rate for Wilson Contreras, 32% on Ian Happ, 44% on Patrick Wisdom, 25% on Boat. We got the pitcher spot in there. If you look at Ranger Suarez, he does have a 1-4 K rate at 10.7%. Swinging strike rate on the season. Most of his strikeouts are coming against lefties. This will be a pretty righty dominant lineup, so you could have some caution against righties, specifically a 4+ xFIP, and the K percentage drops to 22%. But he still has an elite ground ball rate, 56% ground ball rate, with just a 27% hard contact rate. So I don't mind putting him in the pool as a stocking stuffer, kind of get me over to maybe 2x to 20. I'm willing to flatten my expectation at the pitching spot today because you don't really project a ton of guys to safely get you that 20 plus as a floor range of outcome. If I wanted to pick on Ranger Suarez, there's really not a whole lot in his game this year to suggest it or imply weakness. I guess, just the obvious power bats, maybe Frank Schwindel, Patrick Wisdom get into one, but he has not allowed a home run in his last 10 games. And on the season, Ranger Suarez has a 0.52 home run per 9 to righties and a 0 to lefties. So hard to dig into those stats and feel like it's a good spot for anyone on the lowly Chicago Cubs. So it's really just Ranger Suarez for me in short entry, medium size entries. And I don't think I get to Cubs with any sort of confidence or adoration. Let's see what you guys got in live chat before we move on to the next one. Gun into... Oh God, here we go. Gun is into too many FIPs and XFIPs. So first of all, I'm not really into FIP. I'm into XFIP. Told y'all he'll do this sometimes when you doubt him and the matchup doesn't make sense. That's any pitcher that has ever existed ever will sometimes outperform the expectation. Right? Every pitcher will do that. So miss me with that nonsense, Sean. Liking Suarez a bit, still looking though. I was looking at Suarez, me pitching, load up on Houston. All right, let's move on to the next game. The Baltimore Orioles hosting New York Yankees. Nestor Cortez taking on John Means, a battle of two southpaws. We don't have lineups for either team yet, but we have an implied run total of the Yankees at 5.8. John Means, the best pitcher for the Orioles. Not really a gas can versus pretty much every other Orioles pitcher. However, he does have weaknesses, right? Against righties, we can see power allowed a 1.99 home run per 9 this season against righties, and at home a 2+ home run per 9. And this is a dangerous Yankees offense when they're swinging the bat well. We saw that yesterday. He's got 2 starts against the Yankees this season, walking away with an average of 12.7 DKP. But just 1 homer allowed in those 9 innings, so and 3 earnings. So he might be enough to play spoiler if the Yankees ended up garnering too much ownership. It's maybe worth a bet that they don't explode, and maybe you go light on the Yankees or avoid the Yankees. Me personally, I feel like the Yankees are still just way too cheap as a stack in Camden Yards to get away from. Aaron Judge being the most expensive Yankee at 5,200. Everyone else being the 4Ks or less. Just seems way too likely that even if they only get 1 or 2 off of Means, they can dip into that bullpen and provide some upside as well. Obviously, the righties trend the best. Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton, Luke Voit. I don't know that you'll see Stanton play the field again today. So if that didn't happen, you might see him or Voit out of the lineup. Gary Sanchez returns to the lineup after Higashioka caught yesterday. So I think what I would say is look out for Stanton and or Voit, one of those to not be in the lineup today. Unless they run it back and put Stanton in there twice. Yesterday, Stanton played half a game, got subbed out for Brett Gardner after I think he walked in like the 6th or 7th inning. But it does seem like Aaron Boone's trying to stay away from Stanton being in the field too much. And if he's not in the field, then Luke Voit can't DH. So unless they give Rizzo a day off, something weird might happen. And it's very possible that you see Rizzo or Gallo, one of the lefties, get a day off against the lefty starter. We'll see. Nestor Cortez on the bump for the Yankees. He's got a 4.63 xFIP to righties, a 3.4 xFIP to lefties. It's kind of the tale of when are the metrics going to catch up to his performances. If you've watched him pitch, he's kind of a gimmicky pitcher, a bunch of different deliveries that kind of gets him by, a lot of soft contact on the season. He's got a 26% hard contact rate. Two righties, a 52% fly ball rate, and just a 26% ground ball rate. So the xFIP is trying to warn us that sooner or later a bad game could be coming. We have seen him only give up 4 runs as a maximum in his last 10, and we've seen him go from 80 to 100 pitches. So I think he'll get ownership. He'll probably be more owned than he should be. But I get it, right? He's been solid. So if you're looking for, 18 to 20 plus DKP, it is a range of outcome. I definitely, I don't feel like the metrics tell me he's as good as we think he is, but he's just getting it done. Some of these guys we've seen in years past, Johnny Cueto, guys like that will change their arm slot or change their delivery, mess up the timing, that will play in the big leagues. That's been Nestor Cortez's biggest strength so far. He has one game against Baltimore. He dropped 21 DKP. In that game, he did go 5.2 innings, just gave up one bomb. If we want to pick on a lefty, it's pretty easy to draw some names from the Orioles. I will say Mancini was removed from the game yesterday, and so was it Pedro Severino left, and Austin Wynns came in. So maybe keep an eye on the situation there. It's possible that Mancini is hurt for some reason. If he's unable to go, if I wanted to focus on picking on these lefty on a lefty, Ryan Mountcastle, Austin Hayes, Anthony Santander, and then even Pedro Severino. So a couple guys that kind of make a case to be in a stack. And yesterday we saw Michael King go 3 innings for the Yankees. I thought they would for sure end up having to using their lefties, Wandy Peralta, Joely Rodriguez, and Lucas Licky. So maybe those guys are in line today, but you also might see Chad Green and, God forbid, Aroldis Chapman in a close game. So there is a good chance that the Orioles get a couple lefties, a couple looks at lefties. Get caught up on chat. What up, Josh? Faded Yanks and Fetty and played Rizzo. Oof. Ooh, Rizzo and Glaber, I guess, were the only Yankees that didn't really get there. Gio had 3 or 4 trips to the first base. Dallas Keuchel threw 90 pitches last time. Maybe he cannot suck. Dallas Keuchel. I landed on him once this year, and it did not. I think it was against the Cubs. I was I'll pitch anybody against the Cubs. Dallas Keuchel. Jordan Lyles went off against the Astros. At this point, I don't know what the stats look like. Yeah, it's going to happen, right? Every now and then a pitcher's just going to do better. It happens all the time. A couple years back, there was a stretch where I was chasing Jeff Hoffman to implode every slate. Even his dad. I'm not going to tell that story, but his dad got on to me kind of about that. And then many, many moons ago, I can't think of the soft-throwing righty from the Angels. Chad, help me out. Who was the guy that threw 88 top-end fastball? And Jared Weaver, right? And I remember the Red Sox were a juggernaut team one year. He went to Coors and had a good game. It just happens. Sometimes bad pitchers are going to have good games. They got to the major leagues for a reason. Yesterday feels like more of an anomaly than anything else. What are you going to do? Let's move on to the next game. We did get a Phillies lineup, by the way. I think it's almost as projected. The one thing that is very notable is they have 2 catchers in the lineup, so I guess JT Realmuto is going to play first base. And at the bottom of the lineup, we got goes Odubel, Segura, Harper, Realmuto. Didi Gregorius is batting 5th. Andrew McCutchen's batting 6th. Freddie Galvis is into the lineup batting 7th, and then Andrew Knapp is batting 8th. So a different look. A couple guys that weren't expected. No Brad Miller in this lineup. And yeah, so a couple extra lefties, but I would have rather Brad Miller be in the mix. I love his power against the contact Friday. Let's move on to the next game. Mets hosting the Cardinals. The pitching matchup: John Lester taking on Tyler Megill. We got an implied run total of 3.7 for the Cardinals, 4.9 for the Mets. Megill, I think, will garner some traction. He definitely feels like one of the pitchers with the most upside. If we look at his righty splits, a pristine 2.68 xFIP, a 30% K rate, 188 average allowed, just nothing but green in his versus righty split, and this should come out a pretty righty dominant Cardinals lineup. You almost never see more than two lefties in the lineup, whether it be the switchies or a random Carpenter appearance. John Lester does bat lefty. I guess he does have a homer on the season, but I feel like on the surface, Megill has an incredible opportunity to really build on those isolated splits against righties. So at 9,200, can we get to 30? We could. You drop 30 plus against the Yankees, 25 against Toronto. Those are two big powerhouse AL teams. And at home this season, he averages 3 more fantasy points per game than on the road. So if this Cardinals lineup does come out, the atypical Cardinals lineup with just two guys batting lefty, I feel like Megill would be your best bet at pitching if we're just banking on upside. And then at 7,800 on FanDuel, it feels like that would become one of the highest owned pitchers just based on the price point and with his floor versus ceiling ratio might be. And what's the pitch count looking like for him? We've got 98, 96. So I give him anywhere from 90 to 100. So if I go into the K Factory, the pitching projection model based on this current lineup that is in the Cardinals projected lineup portion, if I gave him 90 pitches, I'd walk away with about 6.8 strikeouts. If we get to 100, I got 7.5 strikeouts. So it's very, very possible that Megill has himself a super strong game against the Cardinals. And I think right now he would be lining up to be one of my favorite options. John Lester on the bump. I hate John Lester, man. Every time I stack against him, it just doesn't happen. But 13% K rate to righties, 304 average allowed to righties, a 171 home run per 9 to righties. I mean, these stats right here scream Jonathan VR, Javi Baez, and maybe a little bit of Frankie Lindor, Pete Alonso as well. So while the Mets are never a warm and fuzzy stack, they do get a metrically plus opportunity against a contact lefty. Javi Baez, a 30% K rate to lefties. However, when he isn't striking out, he has almost a 900 OPS, a 280 ISO, and he hits lefties for not horrendous average since the beginning of last year, sitting about 280. So Javi Baez would be a Met I'd be looking at for a little bit of power today. And then Peter Alonso, a 320 plus ISO against lefties since the beginning of last year with a 900 OPS. So look for those two. You might see something weird like Kevin Pillar lead off against a lefty. We'll see. Met stack is probably in play just because these splits for Lester do suggest that he's going to hit some hiccups here and there. A 1.54 whip on the season, and on the road a 2+ home run per 9. But man, the Mets are the Mets. They're not fun to stack, but they got an implied run total of about 5 runs right now, so that's enough to get a little bit of stack equity invested in them. Yeah, no. Jansen Junk, best name in MLB. There's some good ones. What up, EB in the ATL? Raining. Let's go. I got some peoples out there. Shout out to Ed. Mancini left the game yesterday. Yeah, he did leave the game yesterday. Him and I believe it was Pedro Severino left the game and Austin Wynns came in. Or the other way around, but I think it's Severino. Don't quote me. But definitely one of the catchers left for the backup. Let's move on to the next game. Braves hosting the Rockies. Antonio Senzatella taking on Oscar Inoa. We do have both lineups here for the Rockies and Braves confirmed. A 3.5 run total for the Rockies. That's incredibly low. And the Braves sitting at 5.1. They're a minus 200 plus favorite on the money line. Inoa, because of that, has to be in the conversation. Under 9K on DraftKings, 8,400 on FanDuel. modest strikeout stuff, right? 26% against righties, 28% against lefties, a sub 3.5 xFIP to both sides of the plate. If we can check off his potential pitch count here, not really much reason to not introduce Inoa into the pitching player pool if you're scripting here. 5.26, 6 innings his last 4 starts. Washington at Coors, San Francisco, the Yankees. A couple of tough spots. Ironically, I guess not ironically. I guess you kind of expect him to do better against Washington. Didn't. Got to 90 pitches. So we probably just modestly project him for 90 pitches and hope for the best. And against this incarnation of the Rockies lineup, we do have some strikeout potential. Garrett Hampson at almost 30%. Brandon Rogers 23%. Trevor Story 26%. Sam Hilliard 33%. I'll have a Samuel Hilliard. 35% Dom Nunez and 45% Antonio Sensatella. So it's got a pretty plus strikeout matchup. You might feel better if you knew he could get to 100 pitches if he need to, but a lot of going his way with the Vegas total. Is there rain? Is there rain in this game? I don't see any. Just possible drizzle. So maybe look out for some potential weather hiccups. Sensatella's Coors on wheels, right? But he doesn't give up homers to his credit. Will allow a high average because of his high ground ball rate, 53% ground ball rate to lefties, 53% or 50% to righties. On the road, the home run per 9 is still under 1. So we definitely want like some Braves exposure, but just understand that because of his ground ball rate, there's a range of outcomes where he spoils a stack ceiling if he's not giving up bombs. You definitely want the home run potential. If we maybe split his games up here, let's go to Fangraphs. Antonio Sensatella, and I don't really like. There's not really a metric I think we would be able to find here to give us some power. We have his road home run per 9 being at 0.91. I guess last year with similar batted ball data, it got to 1.85. So maybe he's a little bit on the lucky side if we go to his recent game log. Maybe he's had a softer road schedule, right? The Braves team is pretty powerful. So if you're going to dare them to put the ball, sure. 1 homer at Philly, 1 homer at home to Atlanta, at the Dodgers, at Chicago, at Houston. I mean, these are not give-me's. At Milwaukee. So yeah, not a strikeout guy, but he'll keep the ball on the ground and perhaps annoy you. So I would be there on the Braves, but if the Braves ended up garnering too much traction in terms of a stack ownership, I might consider dialing back a little bit and seeing if I can maybe hope for a little bit of soft ceiling because of Sensatella maybe getting you 5 innings of ground ball pitching. Yeah, if I did want to grab some Braves here, it's obvious. Albies, Soler, Freeman, Riley, Duval, County, Eddie Rosario's in the lineup as well tonight. Top to bottom, I don't think there's any Braves that wouldn't play. But just kind of had that asterisk on Sensatella. If we want to pick on Inoa, he does allow some power to righties, although the batted ball data suggests he shouldn't. A 54% ground ball rate, 25% hard contact rate, but a 1.82 home run per 9. So if you expect that to continue, probably Trevor Story would be the main guy I focus on, maybe a CJ Cron here and there. But Trevor Story profile is the best. I think he homered yesterday, but I don't really find myself investing into the full onslaught Rocky stack. Like I said, 3.5 is their run total. You guys got anything in this one? No. All right, let's move on to the next game. Twins and Indians. And Twins. We got Cal Quantrill taking on Griffin Jacks. A meager 4.5 run total, essentially for both teams. Just about a pick 'em. Griffin Jacks has been a power machine. A 2.36 home run per 9 to lefties, 2.63 to righties. A lot of hard contact, a lot of fly balls, and a lot of over 5.5 xFIP. Cumulatively, we might try and narrow it down to see if he's been better lately. But that's the funny thing about baseball. I saw it yesterday with Eric Fetty. It's a game of sample size, but yet here we go try to look at what they've done lately. It's so weird to me. um, Last couple games for Griffin Jackson, not a ton of strikeouts, 4-3, 5-4-3, less than a strikeout per inning, and a lot of fly balls. So he's still going to be a fly ball pitcher, a contact pitcher, and looking at this hard contact rate, about league average to righties, above league average to lefties. I've got Jose Ramirez as the home run today. That's why we put him on the cover. Looks like he's in an insane spot to metrically. The batted ball data kind of lines up. And he's got almost a 4.5 rating on the bomb detector. We've got a decent chunk of sample size. So write that down. Jose Ramirez for a bomb. Just out of curiosity on Griffin Jackson, I want to see what his infield fly ball rate is. I'm thinking about tweaking the bomb detector algorithm to fly ball rate minus infill fly ball rate, just to kind of clean up some stuff. But I didn't want to mess with, if it ain't broken, don't fix it, right? The bomb detector is just fine. But it is one of the things in my head that I've been. So just out of curiosity, against lefties, go fly 10%. So fly ball rate could be better. Got a 17.5% home run to fly ball rate. I guess that's fine. But yeah, all right. Give me some Jose Ramirez as a bomb today. And then if you wanted to tail that with some of these other lefties, really everyone's in play. Fremnel Reyes has a plus a home run opportunity. On the Indian side here, I've got 4 guys with a 4+ rating on the bomb detector. Roberto Perez being a what the heck catcher. It would really be this lane of J-Ram, Franmil, and maybe some Bobby Bradley. So I don't hate the Indians as a potential stack because of this power allowed, and because guys like Ahmed Rosario and Miles Straw can hit for some average and maybe get on base a couple times. So I might get on some Indian stacks against the Twins pitching stack. We've got temps just under 70 degrees out there in Target Field. Cal Quantrill on the bump for the Indians, a 4.54 xFIP to righties, 4.29 to lefties. Pretty solid results against lefties so far. Ground ball rate, hard contact rate, you want to see a little bit higher ground ball rate, but the fly ball rate 42%, line drive rate 21%. He's just been super average with the potential to be a little bit worse due to that xFIP being 4.3. Against righties, the strikeout rate dips all the way down to 15%, 255 average allowed. Keeping the ball on the ground a lot more against righties at 50% and a 26% hard contact rate. So Byron Buxton, who's been better lately, a couple bombs. Josh Donaldson, these guys might get spoiled with some elevated ground ball rates. Could Quantrill surprise us? There might be enough lefties in this lineup. I guess Suarez, you're not going to bank on him for a strikeout. Polanco, nah, I don't want to play Quantrill. A lot of low K rate lefties in this lineup. So Twins might be stackable just because they have enough talent, right? A low K guy, a stolen base power guy. Jorge Polanco's been on fire. Donaldson's got a sweet swing in the second half. Kepler, a low K guy that can get you some ribeye potential if these guys above him are on it. Then Miguel Sano has a big swing. So I might be on a little bit of twin stacks. This game just might be sloppy. So give me, I'll probably start at 6% Twins, maybe like 4% Indians. See what happens. Move on to the next game. Rangers hosted the Astros. Jose Urquidy taking on Kohei Arihara. I don't think Arihara is a stretched out starter here, so we might have enough pushback to just completely X him off and not expect a Jordan Lyles game. 4.2 innings against the D-backs, 69 pitches, nice. Could we get to 85? Maybe. I don't think I'm playing Arihara. I think I know I'm not playing Arihara. Could the Astros bounce back after last night? Would hope so. Arihara has had a lot of problems with power to righties. We got a decent chunk of sample size on that as well. A 304 average allowed, a 326 home run per 9 allowed. This is going to create incredibly high bomb detector ratings for Altuve, Bregman, Carlos Correa, Yuli Gurriel, and Chas McCormick. So if Arihara is a guy that they maybe expect 3-4 innings from, if he goes to this lineup at least twice. We expect some positive results based on these splits here, and almost a 4 homer per 9 at home. So it looks like a lot of that's coming against right-handed power hitting. And if we want to put some sample size behind that, we'll pull up his Fangraphs card, split it up. Where's Sean V at to tell me the Astros are a bad stack? Because XFIP, 19 innings against righties. Like we said, all that. There's not really any surprises there. It's about what we were just looking at. Yeah, Astros got to be a huge play here. 5.4 run total for the Astros. Thought it might be high. I'm all about some Astro stacks. Don't care about last night. Run it back. We out here. Jose Urquidy, 10K. I'm not gonna lie, it feels uncomfortable. There is strikeouts in this projected Rangers lineup. Suarez at 30+%, Adolis Garcia at 30%, Nate Lowe, Nathaniel Lowe, excuse me, DJ Peters 26-34%. The other half of the lineup has a 20% or less K rate, but Urquidy has just not been a K pitcher in the last couple of years. 13% last year, 20% this year to righties. Elevated power rates against lefties. He is getting up to almost a 24% K rate. I only got 3 projected lefties in this lineup. I just feel like 10K is too much. Now, I might eat my words later because the Rangers are the Rangers, and it would be hashtag baseball, hashtag DFS for the Rangers to drop 7 last night, the Astros to get blanked, and then the next night they flip it. But I just don't see anything in Urquidy's game log that I want to pay 10K for, right? There's a 30 against Baltimore, sure. 30 against Boston, I guess, sure. But I just feel like he's consistently inconsistent. And I don't know, chat. Am I wrong for that? Are you guys on Urquidy? Don't let me talk you off him if you're on him. But I just feel like the metrics are not favorable for me to click on his name. Does allow some power to righties. We saw Adolis Garcia go Yabo, Anoche. I believe that one was off of Greinke. DJ Peters hits with some power as well. 283 ISO. I don't know. It's one of those spots where I'm not running to stack the Rangers, but just I don't know how I click on Urquidy with confidence here. So I don't know. Maybe he makes the back end of the pitching pool, but 10K is, you need to do a lot to put the lid on Globe Life. I don't know. I might wrestle with that a lot as we get towards a lot because there's not a ton of high end pitching on. So whatever. Give me some Astro stacks, a couple of Ranger power bats, but Urquidy, I guess, is the question. If you guys are on Urquidy, let me know. If not, it's all good. What's up, Dan T? Here. Let's move on. White Sox hosting the Angels. We've got Dallas Keuchel taking on Jansen Junk. What a name. We got 3.2 innings of sample size for old Jansen. What's the supernatural guy? Yankees affiliate gets groundswell of support. Look at all that water. We're going to look at old Junk's minor league information because we only have 3 innings of big league stuff. I don't want to overreact to what he's done or hasn't done. Bangs are so good. So in the minors, we've got 93 innings of sample size for double A team. Oh boy, so he skipped triple A? Is that what I'm reading? Yikes. 93 innings of sample size in the minors. We've got 97 strikeouts, so over a strikeout per inning. 217 average allowed, a 110 whip, 11 homers in those 93 innings. So a little bit of power allowed, but that's double A. So you skip triple A and go straight to the majors, you're likely not going to transition 1-to-1 or even 2-to-1 on those numbers. So I think that there's a good chance that we expect him to suck against righties. Look at the power numbers here. Against righties, 9 homers in 52 innings. So He gives up a lot of power to righties. A 235 average allowed with a 0.58 ground out to air out ratio. So he's been a fly ball pitcher, a 1-2 whip to righties, and a power problem. That's in Double-A. Chicago White Sox, how you doing? 5.4 implied run total for the White Sox here. Tim Anderson, Luis Robert, Jose Abreu, Eloy Jimenez can build off of those splits that he had in Double-A, and so far we've seen that. I mean, if we told a story, right? If we looked at his Double-A numbers and said that's probably going to be a lot more in the majors, well, he came to the majors as an 18 home run per 9 in 3 innings to righties. So obviously not 1-to-1. He's gonna likely allow a high average and a lot of power to righties. So give me the White Sox righties. Give me the White Sox stack. I do think the Angels bullpen could give us 8 innings of positive EV at bats here. So I'm in on the White Sox stack. They were one of my favorite stacks yesterday. We'll see what they come out with as they line up today, but obviously I would lean towards the righties to hit for power, and then lefties in a good spot as well. Dallas Keuchel on the bump. This one's on y'all, man. I don't know. It's like, I don't know, dude. These pitchers don't even know the name of this strikeout matchup. I played Dallas Keuchel against Chicago Cubs. That was during a stretch where I could play one of you guys against the Cubs and get 30 DK. Dallas Keuchel has gotten you more than 10 DKP 3 times in his last 10 games. Has gotten you single digits or negatives pretty consistently. It is a high strikeout matchup, but sometimes if you're not a strikeout pitcher, you don't just get the strikeouts, right? 12% K rate to righties, 18% K rate to lefties. No. Nope. Not even if there's a fire. Not going to be able to do it. I can't do it. I don't want. I want to do it. I want to do it, but I can't. I can't do it. That. What are you guys doing with Dallas Keuchel? Because I can't. I want to. I do. But I can tell you, I can't. 5,800. You're playing Keuchel for 12 to 15. You're hoping he steals a couple of strikeouts, but fool me once. Game on. I don't know. Get caught up on chat. What up, James? How you doing, buddy? Hey, Johnson. Came in on my favorite game today. I like both sides of this game for show. Terrible pitching, bats all the way around. Lurie Garcia, Roberts, Gavin Sheets, Jared Walsh, Phil Gosselin. Let's go with that. Kickstart said he's going to do it. I'm with it. I don't mind it. But I'm not doing it. I understand it. I'm not doing it. I can't do it. I just can't do it. You like Stassi as a one-off? Yeah, Stassi, if he makes this lineup, I have a little bit of pop against lefties. 180 plus ISO since the beginning of last year. Like, he's just a punt catcher, right? I don't know, man. I like pitching against the Dallas Keuchel. Just might not be it. Might not be it, right? Fool me twice. Can't put the blame on you. We don't have an official lineup for either team. If I wanted to pick on Dallas Keuchel, he allows a higher average and a higher power to righties. Phil Gosselin homered last night. Upton still on the IL. Jared Walsh got into one last night. Ohtani, I guess he's due for one. Keuchel does allow contact and a little bit of power to lefties. David Fletcher might get on. This might be a sneaky, I don't know. Not really a powerful team. I guess Jack Mayfield at the bottom of this lineup has a 200 plus ISO since the beginning of last year against lefties. Like, Keuchel's just not a strikeout. Even if he ground balled his way, like, even if he had a solid game, like, the higher end range of outcomes is probably like 14 DKP. And even if I held my breath and faded him because of the matchup being what it is, like even if he got up to 14, it doesn't necessarily mean he's nuts in tournaments, right? But there would have to be a lot to go right for me to feel bad about the Keuchel fade. I'm fading him. Gotta fade him. I like Walsh. Yeah. All right. If I had to grab some power bets, it would be Ohtani, Walsh. Maybe we run back Gosselin after yesterday. Brandon Marsh has a 0 ISO against lefties. That's pretty extreme. Stassi, we mentioned him if he makes the lineup. Is Kurt Suzuki still on the Angels? Is there a chance he plays today? Because I do like him against lefties. What was this last? September 12th? He played 3 days ago. I think he plays every 2 or 3 days. If Suzuki hit the lineup over Stassi, I'd actually would believe his split. The lefties is pretty favorable. This is the beginning of last year. That's 292, 28 OPS. So I would definitely like Suzuki if he was in the lineup. Give me a little higher of a floor, but yeah. Let's move on to the next. Royals hosting the Athletics. The Royals lineup did come out. We don't have an Athletics lineup yet. We got Whit Merrifield, Nicky Lopez, Salvi, Andrew Benintendi, Carlos Santana, Adalberto Mondesi, Hunter Dozier, Hanser Alberto, former Oriole great Edward Olivares, and we are in there somewhere. Boom, confirmed. Against Chupapi Manaya. 9,800 for Sean Manaea. This Royals lineup actually, I think it appears pretty scrappy against your average lefty, right? Just Mondesi and Dozier have elevated K rates, a lot of 20% or way less. Merrifield, Nicky Lopez, Carlos Santana. So I don't really feel like there's a ton of strikeout potential. Manaea does, in and of himself, there is a world where he gets to 30 DKP. But I think he doesn't have, I don't think that's a likely outcome here. I guess the fact that it is an outcome makes him viable. 9 strikeouts his last 2 games, 7 innings. These are against big boy teams. At the Toronto Blue Jays, Chicago White Sox. That ain't cheap games, right? So 27-32. So I guess because of that, by default, he's got to beat the conversation against Kansas City. But I also feel like there's a world where this Royals team is a little bit scrappy and can get to him. So I might walk the fence here, have a little bit of both sides. As cheap as that sounds, I think that's the path I'm going to take. On the road, really solid numbers, 309 xFIP, 30% overall K rate, 113 home run per 9. Kaufman can definitely swallow some fly balls. It's going to be about 80 degrees, so it's going to be amongst the higher temperatures on the slate. Not extreme, right? It's not like 95 degrees or whatever. But it is a spot where I think I play both sides here. I guess because it is a shortened pool at pitcher, I probably end up with more Manaea than the Royal stacks. But I definitely think the Royals are a stack for me today. Salvador Perez has a 4+ rating on the bomb detector. Everyone else on the south side of 4. On the Athletic side, they catch the lefty Mike Minor. A bunch of lefties today. Mike Minor, 4.45 xFIP to righties, 252 average allowed, and 1.6 overall home run per 9. At home, the xFIP closer to 4, 143 home run per 9. We want to pick on Minor. We want to look at guys like Matt Chapman for power, and Yan Gomes if he's in the lineup. He is one of the better lefty hitting catchers in the league. 2,800 on Fanduel. You got to kind of pay for him on DraftKings at 4K, but he's been batting almost 300 since the beginning of last year against lefties. 260 plus ISO, 916 OPS. Good spot for him. Matt Chapman wasn't in the lineup yesterday. And that actually, so I didn't watch the game, but that was actually one of the causes of concern for me about Montes, is because you take out a platinum glove defender in Matt Chapman, and he could hurt a pitcher as much as he can help a pitcher, right? If he's stealing some base hits away from the other team. I don't know if that actually happened, but it was something that did cross my mind on the air. The stack itself, Marte, Olsen, and Chapman all over 5K. Josh Harrison probably still a much better value on FanDuel at 2,800, second base eligible, I believe. 4,500 on DraftKings in that leadoff spot. Mike Minor's definitely somebody we can pick on. Athletics have a 4.8 run total, but I could see I can see this being a pretty modest game. So I'm going to have some exposure to it, but it's not going to be anything egregious. All right, Kickstart. I'll catch you later. Let's move on to the next game. Giants hosting the Padres. We've got Joe Musgrove taking on Dominique Leone. Giants clinched that playoff berth. Then last night the Dodgers did it. Musgrove on the bump for the Padres. They are scrapping for that third wild card spot, or that second wild card spot. Musgrove leading the way for them. He's 9,500. He's definitely one of the names that I think the field would like to play. But the matchup itself is pretty tough. At 9,500, you'd want the north side of 20 DKP. Could you get it? 15-15 his last two starts against upper echelon teams, Houston Astros, the Dodgers. He's got two starts against but I definitely think, like, if I'm running 20 or less lineups, I'm not there. What did I just hear? Did you guys hear that? Am I going nuts? I just heard, like, did I drop frames? No? I don't know. That was weird. Click. That was weird. I think 20 or less, I don't get to Musgrove. Even 50 or less, I don't know that I'm warm and fuzzy on that. It would have to be a 150 type of click for me to get to some Musgrove. And that's not necessarily a knock on Musgrove. It's more of a vote of confidence for the Giants. They've just been that good, especially at home. So not necessarily, it's not a spot that I feel great about. And on the road, Musgrove has not been as safe. A 4.23 xFIP. So I don't know. Yeah, run 150 lineups. I'll have to get to some Musgrove, but in 50 or less, I could see myself just going heavy on like Tyler Megill or something like that, and hoping Musgrove has a modest game. But I might have some of them to fill out 150. Dominique Leone, I'm assuming, is a starter. Excuse me, an opener, not a starter. Projected opener, yeah. That's it for the bang. 1836. So yeah, we can't play him. Do we know who's coming in behind him? Jose Quintana. So contact lefty. 2-3 innings, last couple outings for him. Might get 40 pitches. So that might be your first 5-6 innings. Leone to Quintana. Another lefty, right? We know Tatis, Machado, they can smack lefties. Will Myers, Tommy Pham might catch the lineup. I don't know how they play that. Padres have a 4.3 implied run total. So do the Giants. Kind of a pick 'em right now because I think Musgrove is better than the combination of Leone and Anna. I might lean the Padres side, but the Giants have just been so doggone good that hold my breath. Man, I feel like I want to like Musgrove more than I do, but yeah, he's just been so Jekyll and Hyde for the season, especially on the road. And anyway, Carlos Hernandez is starting for KC, not Mike Minor. That's a good call, Stunt. I don't know how that happened. Maybe this morning, they had Hernandez. That's an extremely good call. I appreciate it. With that said, I wish that the Athletics struck out more because I would like to take a shot on Carlos Hernandez as much as I can going down the stretch because I think he's going to be one of the better pitchers in baseball, or at least one of the more underrated pitchers in baseball. But the Athletics still don't strike out a ton, so appreciate that though. That changes a lot. That the bond detector is going to fluctuate a lot based on the lefty righty split. I mean, this morning it had to say Mike Minor. I wouldn't have just typed Mike. But good call. Appreciate it. We've got one game left on the docket. Before we do that, remind you guys that today, promo code Clemente. It is Roberto Clemente Day. So, in honor of Roberto Clemente, you get a VIP pass and you use coupon code Clemente, you'll get 21% off of any pass that you get. We do have showdown coverage for tomorrow. We have NFL coverage this weekend, NFL coverage Monday night, baseball coverage every day except Sunday, and then the 24/7 access to the premium Discord. Looking a little something like this. Before lock, I'll be in the MLB voice chat, and then of course we'll be in the football chat tomorrow. Wonder what this is. That over here. Little spreadsheet. Probably somebody wanting the new link conductor. Which QB should I start in the one? I will have a whole tab for that, Jason. I'll answer. All right, let's get to the final game on today's slate. Chat, do me a favor. Where we at? Where we at on views versus likes? Dang, we ain't got no viewers today. Is there another show on that I missed? We've got the D-backs taking on the Dodgers. Meryl Kelly taking on Julio Urias. Let me double check that. Yeah, Meryl Kelly taking on Julio Urias. Dodgers at 5.3 implied run total. The D-backs under 3. So Urias is 10.5K. I kind of briefly discussed it at the top of the stream, where feels like the price point is a little bit uncomfortable. However, in the scheme of this slate, he might give us one of the highest floor to ceiling ratios. And because of that, like, I'm willing to overpay for safety to an extent, where if you think for sure you can get 20 plus DKP, probably go out there and take it. There are some scrappy bats on this D-backs team, but in 2 starts against the Arizona Diamondbacks, Urias is averaging 28.7 DKP. His last start coming at Arizona on August 1st, where he dropped 27. So he's just been good. Just really been good. So I don't mind playing Urias, and I don't mind overpaying, because I also don't feel like a lot of the stacks we might seek today are expensive. The Yankee stack has just one bat, that of Aaron Judge, over 5K. So yeah, get you some Urias if you wanted to hedge it a little bit. The 3 bats I'd be most concerned about against any lefty: Nick Ahmed, Ketel Marte, and especially a boy, Carson Kelly. ISO of 281 against lefties since the beginning of last year, 97.7 OPS, and Ketel Marte, a 300 ISO, a 1. OPS against lefties. 1 through 3 in this projected lineup are the guys. Past that, not too worried about anyone. So Urias, welcome to the pool here. No Meryl Kelly for me. I do feel like Meryl Kelly, was it against the Dodgers where he had that random 30 bomb earlier this season? I feel like I remember that. But he is coming back from the AL, I believe. Hasn't pitched since August 11th, so over a month off from the bigs. He's averaging 20 DKP against the Dodgers, 14 his last outing. Not something I'm gonna be testing in. A matter of fact, I'll be in on the Dodgers offense. Dodgers offense have a 5.3 implied run total, as we saw last night. They're clicking, right? When they're clicking, they're a dangerous team, perhaps the most dangerous team in baseball. And there's not a single bet in this Dodgers lineup I would look away from. So give me the Dodgers stack. Give me some Urias to close out the night. And a couple of cherry picks on the D-backs. But I probably don't get into a dedicated full send 5-man stack. And that is your 10-game slate for tonight. Chat, if you guys got any lingering questions, comments, concerns, drop them in chat. I'll be happy to revisit anything, get some stuff processed for you guys, and explain why or why not I would be somewhere. But I will also go back and update some lineups that maybe came out, and see if we have any opinions changed. Again, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up. Very light crowd today for a big slate. Cubs lineup just came out. Matt Duffy is leading off. Frank Schwindel, Ian Happ, Patrick Wisdom, Robinson Chirino. So no Wilson Contreras today. Alfonso Rivas, David Boat, Sergio Alcantara. So if anything, this probably makes me a little bit more likely to play Ranger Suarez. Not that like Wilson Contreras is a huge bat, but he's definitely probably their best player overall. So for him to not be in the lineup, it makes the matchup a little bit more soft. So I'm still on Ranger Suarez. The Cubs stack itself is probably just Swindell and Wisdom, hoping for some power. Moving on to the Yankees game, we did get that confirmed Orioles lineup. Mullins, Mountcastle, Trey Mancini did get in the lineup after getting removed yesterday. Austin Hayes, I hate Austin. Anthony Santander, Ramon Urias, Pat Valleca, Kelvin Gutierrez. Austin wins. 2 Austins in the Lou. Get them going. K Johnson, I liked Philly at first, but I'm not on them no more. I like the Angels, White Sox, and the Cardinals. You like the Cardinals? That's an intriguing potential leverage stack because I gotta imagine that Tyler Megill ends up being the highest owned pitcher. That's just guessing. I haven't looked at ownership projections. I could be way wrong in that assessment, but I feel like if you isolate his righty splits versus a potential righty heavy Cardinals lineup, people are just going to end up there. Let's move on to the what else? Anything else come out? The Rockies lineup came out. Keep an eye on the rain in this Rockies game. It might be a Twins lineup was already out. Rangers lineup just came out. Tavares, Willie Calhoun making the lineup. Douglas Garcia, Nathaniel Lowe, DJ Peters, Jonah Heim, Nick Solak, Brock Holt, and Laurel Hernandez. So, did his matchup get better? A little bit. 32% carry rate on Tavares, Garcia, Lowe. This might be one of those spots where we regret fading him as he strikes out the side in the first inning and Calhoun got on. And then, I don't know, it falls out. This matchup is really... These guys suck. The bottom half of the lineup hits for no power. The top half strikes out a lot. Urquidy's recency bias is really striking me. But the matchup is still pretty good. We might just have to bet on the match. Might have to move on to next game. White Sox lineup did come out. Luis Robert leading off. That's huge. Luis Robert should be the highest owned player. Just should be, right? Big game out of him yesterday. Maximum implied at bats here. Super positive split against a pitcher that has struggled against righties at every level, especially Double A, which Luis Robert a little bit better than Double A hitters. So yeah, I think Luis Robert in every format. Look for him to be one of the highest owned players on the slate. 39 on Fanduel, 44 on DraftKings. It's going to be pretty easy to put him into some lineups here. And that was it. No other lineups came out. So, yeah. Who likes cake? No. That's it, right? We got through that slate pretty doggone fast. So, chat, if you guys got anything else, let me know. Tonight, I'll probably work on a showdown video for tomorrow's Giants and football team game. Look for that. We'll probably do that tiered ranking format again. We did it last week. It actually ended up being one of the more viewed videos on the channel in a while. So I'll probably run that back. Look for that to drop. Hopefully by the time you wake up in the morning. It would be nice to get that up tonight. And that's it. Tomorrow, I don't think there's going to be a stream tomorrow. I think going forward, we probably won't expect Thursday streams. I think Trey Mancini just got from that line, which I was kind of surprised that he was. So tomorrow's kind of an all-day thing. And then there's so no live stream tomorrow. We'll run it back on Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central. So tomorrow we'll just have pre-recorded content. Then Saturday morning, I'll be on the Osmo channel. Really, really early. So if you're looking for some of my takes, go check out the Osmo channel on Saturday, but also go check out the Osmo channel now. They'll I think they have a show in about 30 minutes, so they'll be able to give you all of the ownership information and really tell you where you should zig where you should zag, stuff like that. Sup, my fellow Staten Islander. Yo, look out, AJB. Favorite stacks overall? I think the White Sox has to be my number one stack. You know, I want to say the Yankees, but John Means is actually pretty solid. So it would definitely be the White Sox number one for me. What you think about San Francisco? I missed it. So San Francisco's in a spot where I'm not warm and fuzzy on Musgrove, but I guess if you look at Musgrove's bad games, it's because he's voting, right? So if I'm fading him in fear of a bad game, maybe I should be stacking the Giants. Still going to be a pitcher-friendly park. Let's see. Games that Musgrove died. At Arizona. 10 hits. 1 bomb. I don't know. I don't know. What's his big Barely over 1 homer per night. I don't know. Probably Buster Posey. Just banking on the talent here. Brandon Bell, Tommy La Stella, pretty cheap. I don't know that I'm full sending 5 men here, but I could get to some friends. La Stella, Bell, Posey's probably one of the better hitting catchers on the slate. He got into one last night. I don't know. I'm lukewarm on him. Nothing crazy. We did get an updated Orioles lineup, which, like I said, saw Trey Mancini removed. So the updated Orioles lineup is Mullins, Mountcastle, Austin Hayes, Anthony Santander, Ramon Urias, Brian McKenna, Pat Valleca, Kelvin Gutierrez, Austin Wins, Longoria been smashed lately, has he? Dude, that's such a weird thing. Yesterday I saw, wasn't Chris Bryant and Mike Yastrzemski in like the 6 through 9 of the lineup, or 6 through 8? Like, that's crazy that those are the bottom half of your Mets lineup came out. Jonathan VR, Lindor, Javi Baez batting third. So I mentioned this is absolutely like the best spot Javi Baez will ever have, right? Like, it's a contact lefty, like John Lester, former teammate. His split against lefty is his most positive split. Hits for a lot of power. It's going to be one of the highest bomb detectors on the 3.94. It's actually not as good as I thought it was. Does he have numbers against Lester? Have they faced off? Looks like he's 1 for 3 with a home. That's atypical Javi stuff. Any ownage today? Short home. I saw it was Eugenio Suarez the other day. Carson Kelly has 2 bombs off of Urias. Alright, the main guy I would be worried about. I think that was it. No other lineups came out. Chat, if you guys got anything else for me, twitter.com/GunDeckerSports. We'll take a look at the bomb detector before we get out of here. Jose a break with a 5+. The White Sox are breaking it because of the kid's low sample size, a big league number. But we went and did our work and looked at his minor league stuff. I don't think he's going to transfer well into the big league. So give me the White Sox stack, then give me the Astros stack to run that one back, and then I'll go with the Yankees. Those are my 3. Give me Tyler Megill as my SP1, and probably Inoa or Urias. Probably Urias. You give me Urias, Megill, White Sox, Astros, Yankees. Find some value, and I think it'll work, you know? Twitter.com/GunDecker, my bad. Chad, I appreciate you making part of my day, be part of your day. I'll see you guys live on Friday. Showdown video tomorrow. I love you guys. I hope you crush it tonight. Good luck. God bless. And go win some money.